Hello, hello, hello. This is Cyborg,
And Bumblebee.
and we're coming to you today with a special, interesting issue.
Absolute Superman issue number 7.
So, this is less about Superman and more about
Brainiac. This issue is pretty much the origin, the explanation, the motives, the history, everything we need to know about the Absolute Universe's Brainiac.
correct. So, instead of calling it Absolute Superman, they should have just said Absolute Brainiac.
I mean, yeah. So Superman wasn't even in this issue at all.
Literally, just this one issue should have been called Absolute Brainiac. One shot.
But this is definitely setting up what's going to be continuing to happen in this series.
Correct.
The issue starts out with some Omega Men breaking into a facility in
Stuff goes awry
in the Nevada desert.
and they start freaking out. They seen something.
Little do they I think they knew, but they didn't know that they were breaking into the facility where the quote unquote Brainiac server is, not knowing that Brainiac himself was going to be there and how powerful Brainiac is.
I don't think they knew Brainiac was going to be there. I think they tried to shut him down.
Or maybe, I wonder, do they know? Does the world know? Do people know who Brainiac is? Or do they just know that the Brainiac server AI, quote unquote, is a thing?
I don't think people know Brainiac as Brainiac. They just know Brainiac as the server. And they think if they could turn the server off or shut it down or break it or something, that everything else will fall right with it. Not knowing that, hi there, it's me, Brainiac.
They learned. They learned a hard lesson.
Yeah, I guarantee you they wish they didn't know that.
Brainiac he shrunk the skin off of one guy.
Yeah.
He I guess shrunk the muscles of another and then shrunk the bones of another, and he was throwing up his bones.
I don't even know
how
to explain that.
He
what the heck?
They suffered.
They suffer. Would you be okay with that? I wouldn't be okay with that.
But I think the fourth guy had it the worst. He got dismembered and was on an operating table thing, and his brain was in I don't even know what to call it. His brain was in a glass jar.
You see?
Still connected to him.
So much messed up stuff has been happening.
His legs were detached, like his legs were detached from him at the knees. His arms were detached at the elbows, and his body was on the table.
His head is in a jar-like state. It's just so confusing.
And then Brainiac is talking to his good old friend. Brainiac's like, I needed someone to talk to. And he was talking to this dude, even though the dude wasn't talking back or couldn't talk back. Dude was just there on this operating table. And Brainiac reminisces on
his life.
The day he was born.
Or created. However you choose to say.
He was Brainiac 419,732. And his job was to shovel the remains of other Brainiacs into a thing to have them liquefied. That was his job.
That's disgusting. He did his job.
He was a very interesting character. He almost got shanked by one Brainiac that was still semi-alive.
Yeah.
He was sitting there pretending to have friends. He stood up some of the bodies and made them his friends and was pretending to talk to the Brainiac Collective.
His friends were dead.
Yeah. Until one day he shoveled all he could shovel and there was nothing left for him to shovel. So he decided to open up the door and venture out into the rest of the ship.
But he couldn't open the door. He had to break the door.
He used the shovel.
I stand by what I say.
Yeah, he used the shovel to open up the door to discover there was no other Brainiacs on the ship. Well, other than ones that were in the process of being made, but there were like the rest of them. I don't know if they died, disappeared, or what happened, but he pretty much took over, and that's how he got to where he is now. And
now he just ended up being the captain of the ship.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and, hey, I'm the captain now.
And throughout this conversation, he's like, "Oh, you know what? Let me get the." He finally gets the courage. So like all the Brainiacs on that ship were gone, but there is a Brainiac collective, and he finally gets the courage to call up the Brainiac collective, and a whole bunch of Brainiacs pop up on the screen, and he asks them for any information that they have on this Superman. None of them really know, except one Brainiac knows and tells him that the sample, the red dust sample, comes from Krypton, but Krypton is gone, and blah blah blah, and send him some information. And they're like, "Who are you?
And they say,
identify yourself. Don't call us back for some frivolous stuff like this."
And they said, "Thank you, bye bye."
and just as they're asking him to identify himself, he goes click and hangs up the call. After they give him the information that he needs.
Thank you, bye bye.
And turns out the information that he needs is the chemical formula
to make red sand.
No, to make kryptonite.
Yeah, red sand.
No, green.
It's green.
He has the chemical composition and is able to make green kryptonite.
Oh my gosh. So that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Darn you, Brainiac.
And then his friend that he was talking to, he puts him out of his misery.
Well, dang. Put him down like a dog.
Uh-huh. Then at the very end, we see that he has Agent Smith from the Lazarus, and he's doing stuff to him.
Oh my.
And then that's the end of the issue. Now, my theory on what's happening at the end of this issue is that he is turning Agent Smith into Metallo and putting that kryptonite in his chest.
And who is Metallo, Bumblebee?
Metallo, off the top of my head, is a Superman villain who has kryptonite on his person or in his body, in his chest.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. So he is definitely a formidable foe for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd be interested to see, because, obviously Kal-El was young when he had to leave Krypton.
Correct.
I'm not entirely sure if kryptonite, maybe kryptonite was a thing, but I don't know if he knows that how it will affect him. But if my guess is right, he's going to learn very quickly that kryptonite is something that he needs to stay away from.
I think it's going to happen really fast for him, especially if it I'm not going to say touches him, but
if it's near him.
Yeah. That's going to be bad times.
Oh, and apparently once Agent Smith is finished getting operated on or whatever, what have you, they're sending him to Kansas.
Oh, well, that's fun.
So
I wonder what's in Kansas.
That'll should be an interesting next issue. We'll have to see where we're going to see what is going to happen with that.
Mm-hmm. I can almost guarantee I know what's going to happen. It's going to be a showdown between the guy who started it all and the one who wants to finish it all. So yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
So that's what's coming. Y'all heard my theory. What do y'all think?
A good theory.
Check out this book. Check out your local comic book shop. If you can't get to the comic book shop, check out the DC Infinite app.
Yeah, guys. It's an amazing issue. I can guarantee you're going to be sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's basically absolute Brainiac, that's how funny it is to me. Because it has nothing to do with Superman right now, technically.
And I believe that this issue is the start of this new arc. So this issue would be a good issue for you to jump in on and continue from here. Check it out, guys.
Only gonna get better from here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys take care, be safe, and as always, peace.